everyone, welcome back to Sarah's Vegan Kitchen. I hope you're all doing really well. I finally got my copy of the Hot for Food Cookbook. This is Vegan Comfort Classics by Lauren Toyota. I haven't tried any of the recipes yet, so I thought I would test a few today live with you, give you my first impressions. If you want the actual measurements, you'll have to buy the cookbook. I'll have it linked down below. I'm also going to be giving away a few copies, so stick around to the end of the video for more details about that. So we're going to dive right in. The recipe that I'm most excited to try out are the apple fritters. It was one of my favorite things to get at donut shops before I went vegan. Leave a comment down below, what is your favorite donut? Mine was definitely maple bars, followed by apple fritters, followed by just classic Krispy Kreme style glazed donuts. And I haven't had an apple fritter since going vegan, so I'm very excited to try these. Picture of these looks amazing. It starts with a really basic dough, and it does take an hour to rise, so I'm gonna start the dough, and then while it's rising, I'm gonna test out 2 other recipes. For this, you just need water, flour, yeast, salt, sugar, and a little bit of vegetable oil. This is a really basic dough that she uses in a couple different recipes, both sweet and savory, in the cookbook. I typically don't make any yeasted doughs for breads or pastries without using my stand mixer, but this recipe you can do by hand. Just stir it all together. The dough is quite wet at this point. We're gonna lightly flour our cutting board. And then we're gonna knead this a little bit. This recipe does warn against over kneading the dough and adding in too much extra flour while you're kneading it. I did end up adding about an extra half cup just to get it to the point where it wasn't sticking to my hands too much, but every brand of flour is a little bit different. So with any kind of dough, you usually have to kind of just go by feel. I'm gonna oil this bowl and transfer it. Gonna give it a flip just so that the entire thing is coated with oil, and then I'm gonna cover it. I'm gonna put it up on top of my washing machine where it's a little warm, and I'm gonna let it double in size. I'm gonna set my timer for an hour just to know when to check on it. My kitchen is pretty chilly usually, so it usually takes a full hour to double anytime I'm making any sort of yeasty bread. I'm gonna tidy up, and then we're gonna start on a savory dish. Next recipe we're gonna try is the Tofu Benedict, which I'm super pumped about because eggs used to be my jam. Eggs Benedict or some sort of epic omelet is what I always used to order when I would go out to brunch. We've gotta make our hollandaise first. This calls for almonds. I have some unsweetened plain soy milk. Some nooch, obviously. I've yet to see a vegan egg recipe that does not call for nutritional yeast. Little bit of turmeric, mustard powder, and vinegar, and we're gonna juice a lemon. We need some, but not all of this lemon juice. And then a little bit of salt. My almonds still have the skins on them, so mine is not gonna be as pretty as hers in the book. Certainly a lot more healthy than traditional hollandaise sauce, which is basically all butter and egg yolks. Flavor is really good. Set it aside. We're going to prepare our tofu. We're cutting kind of thick patties. I'm going to lay them out and season them with some salt and pepper and some smoked paprika. Stuff smells so good. Just got a little bit of olive oil in the pan. I'm going to season the other side with my salt and pepper and paprika as well. Slice up some fresh tomato, and ideally I would have spinach to saute and put on this, but I'm out, so I'm going to use some kale instead. Now I'm going to be serving these on English muffins. The Kroger brand says on here suitable for vegans, but just be warned, some English muffins will contain dairy products, specifically whey, so just double check your ingredients. So I just removed my tofu patties from the pan. I'm going to throw my kale right into there. I'm going to toast my English muffin, a little bit of salt and pepper on my kale. I'm going to warm up my sauce. I'm just going to use the microwave today because I don't want to have too many dishes to clean after this. I'm going to throw in a tomato slice just to warm it through. And of course we've got to put some vegan butter on our English muffins. Oh yeah. A little bit of kale. Tomato. One of our tofu nuggets. Warm hollandaise. And I don't have chives, but I do have some green onions. Look how cute they are! We gotta taste it. I don't know if I'm supposed to use a fork with this, but so good. This is amazing. I'm just gonna keep eating it. The only thing that could make it a tiny bit better, black salt. Just a little bit. This hollandaise is magic. Woo! I just spilled tofu beni on the tofu beni page of the cookbook. Well, very fitting. Probably should have eaten it with a fork, but what can you do? Hot sauce. Okay, so this is actually so good. I'm gonna stop filming, eat it, and then come back and make the other recipes. Cool. Imagine this with avocado though. Next level. So between pausing to eat and then tidying up between recipes, our dough is now doubled in size. So I'm actually gonna go back to the apple fritter recipe and I'm gonna prep my apples. I've got Granny Smith apples here. Leave a comment down below. What's your favorite kind of apple? I like Honeycrisp and Golden Delicious. I really don't like eating Granny Smith or any kind of tart apple, but I almost always will cook with them just because there's less moisture in them and they're nice and tart. Usually when I'm prepping my veggies, I just have a little bowl here and I throw in all of my waste so that I can compost it later. It's like the garbage bowl, the GB, if you ever watched Rachel Ray. Who are your favorite Food Network stars? Let me know. When I was little, I used to always watch Iron Chef. My favorite was the French Iron Chef. I forget what his name was.
Iron Chef French is Hiroyuki Sakai.
I also really liked Alton Brown. That was a great show, man. Okay, we're just dicing these. I really want to make a video just making regular vegan glazed donuts because I feel as if a lot of places sell vegan donuts, but they're all kind of cake style. And I'm really missing just the classic raised Krispy Kreme style glazed donut that's like fluffy and melts in your mouth. Okay, yeah, I have too much apple. I guess I should have checked before I peeled them all. I'll eat these, I'll just slather them in peanut butter so that I can get past the tartness. They're not that bad. Saute these apples. Azúcar, salt, canela. And guys, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I do like Granny Smith apples. I'm gonna put it on half this dough. Never made apple fritters. I did not know this was how they were made. This is pretty cool. We're just making squares, flour our hands, and we're just gonna press this into a loaf shape. I definitely think it's too wet right now. Oh no. Okay. I really think it's a combination of the dough being a little soft and there being too much syrup in the apples. I think at this point we're just cutting it into little pieces. Well, we are having a little trouble with the fritters here. I definitely think I should have added even more flour to the original dough. I'm just gonna dust them with a little bit more flour and try and kind of press the apples in. Okay guys, I fried that first batch of apple fritters. They're right back here and they taste okay. They taste great actually, but I just really don't think this is how Lauren intended them to turn out. So what I did, I changed clothes and then I literally jogged down the street to the grocery store. I got new flour, I got new yeast, the instant kind, more apples. And we're gonna attempt this again because I really just want these to come out perfectly. I am going to use my stand mixer this time around just because it has been a hassle to be operating a camera and also have dough all over my hands. So I even got the fancy King Arthur flour. It was actually on sale. Ugh, short people problems. Feels a lot better this time. So the only thing I did differently is that usually when I measure out my flour, I'll actually scoop it into the cup with a spoon and then level it out. This time around, because I had to add extra flour last time, I actually like packed the scoops of flour, but the dough seems much better this time around. So I am gonna add maybe just about a tablespoon at most of extra flour. So I would say, as a rule of thumb, I would add flour until it doesn't stick to the bowl. This is already much better. It's much easier to handle. So once again, we're gonna let it rise and I'm gonna move directly on to the next recipe. Bacon mac and cheese skillet. I feel like there are now so many vegan mac and cheese sauce variants out there. I try a different one almost every time I make it. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys have a holy grail vegan mac and cheese recipe. I would love to try it out. Or if you have a favorite vegan boxed or frozen mac and cheese. I've yet to try the mac and chow. I haven't been able to find that locally yet, but I've heard that's really good. My sister, who is not vegan, really likes it. Couple different parts to this mac and cheese skillet. I'm already boiling some water for my elbow macaroni. It's gonna be topped with shiitake bacon. The store near my house actually sells fresh shiitake mushrooms, which is cool. I usually have to buy the dry kind and rehydrate it, but I just thinly slice these. We're making a really simple marinade with soy sauce, maple syrup, liquid smoke. This is pretty much exactly how I make my bacon tempeh marinade. But Lauren also adds some smoked paprika to hers. For the cheese sauce, I've got some soaked raw cashews. I definitely prefer cheese sauces that have either coconut milk or cashews in them, just to give it a little bit of that like fatty mouthfeel. The ones that are just potato or carrot based, I'm not as much of a fan of. They still taste good. Something's just off texturally, I think. Lemon juice and vegetable oil, nutritional yeast, duh. Onion powder, garlic powder, and chili powder. Tomato paste and miso paste. Now I've never put tomato paste in any of my cheese sauces, so this should be interesting. I have used miso paste in a couple different cheese sauces and also in the carbonara recipe that I reviewed a couple months back. Definitely think it adds a nice savory flavor to it. So this is gonna make a crap ton of sauce, I think. My kitchen is gonna be a mess after this video. Tastes good. The chili powder is really good in this. You don't really taste the tomato paste directly, but it definitely adds like a depth of flavor. I love shiitake mushrooms. I'm really excited to try this. The other day I made oyster mushroom bacon. I cooked it a really, really long time on super low heat so that it dried out and got super crispy. I might make a video on that coming soon. Okay, it's time to boil our pasta.
7 minutes, starting now.
Finally got rid of my metal straws and got glass ones instead because it was sketching me out that I could not see inside the metal straws and I didn't know what might be growing and lurking in there. I mean, I clean them every time I use them, but still. I kind of just want to eat it like this. I'm not gonna lie, it smells really good. It's gonna be amazing. So I've got some breadcrumbs mixed with spices. It's supposed to make like a nut parmesan, but I ran out of the nuts that I need to use for it, so I'm just gonna skip it. Gonna put our shiitake bacon on top. Gotta steal a piece of this too. Shiitake mushrooms have the best flavor. Okay, can add more breadcrumbs, just for the sake of posterity. For good measure. Can't stop eating this bacon. So we tent this with aluminium. Alright, you know what time it is, you guys. It's not hammer time, it is apple fritters round 2 time. Just observe how my background gets progressively messier and messier. Okay, I'm actually just gonna work directly on my countertop this time. I need one of those like marble pastry slabs. Oh, look at that. Basically caramel. Fold it over. Really just want more shiitake bacon. Oh my god. Okay, now we're basically just shaping them into little mounds and then just transfer them onto this floured baking tray. They need to rise one more time before we fry them. Oh yeah! Look at that. It smells amazing. It's perfect. It's so creamy. The breadcrumbs are a really nice crispy touch. You know, sometimes when you make a potato cheese, the texture it's not gritty, it's like you can tell there's a lot of starch in it. This is just really velvety. Flavor-wise, it doesn't taste exactly like real cheese. I haven't found a homemade vegan mac and cheese that tastes really spot on yet, but it's really good. I would totally feel comfortable bringing this to a potluck or something with non-vegans. I'm really glad I picked this recipe to make. She has an oyster mushroom po' boy I was thinking of making instead. I'll get around to that at some point, but this is exactly what I wanted right now. Second batch came out much better. They actually look like apple fritters. I really want to save the prettiest ones to photograph, so I'm gonna go for this one for the taste test. These are really good. They're not exactly the same as the donut shop apple fritters I remember before going vegan, but those are probably full of eggs and butter and contain a lot more sugar than these. Considering how simple the dough is and how basic the ingredients in the process are, like you probably already have most of these ingredients in your pantry already. I think this is really good. Definitely worth trying. The outside parts are always my favorite, like with any donut. I used to like saw off the top of my donuts and just eat half of it with the icing. Well, it's 6:30 now. I've spent a full work day filming this video, but the recipes were amazing. 3 for 3. Is there any indication of how good the rest of the recipes in the book are? I'd say the book is definitely worth a purchase. Again, I'll have it linked down below, and I will be giving away 3 copies today. Amazon rolled out like a giveaway function, so I don't exactly know how it works, but I'll have it linked in the information box. So the only rules for the giveaway are that you need to live somewhere that Amazon will ship to. Somewhere to which Amazon will ship, sorry, prepositions. And I'd also really appreciate if you would subscribe to my channel too. I'm gonna be doing more giveaways, hopefully. Let me know also if there are any other cookbooks that you'd like me to review. I have a couple on deck, definitely Miyoko's Homemade Vegan Pantry, the Crossroads Cookbook, Street Vegan, and then the Field Roast Cookbook. So leave any of those requests down below, and if you already own the Vegan Comfort Classics Cookbook, let me know if you have any favorite recipes that you think I should try next. Not on the channel, but just in my own personal life. I would love to know. Thanks so much for watching this video today. Thanks to Lauren Toyota for releasing a bomb-ass vegan cookbook, being a vegan queen, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Now to do dishes.